Hello friends, how are you today? Wow, check this out. We have got 0 amplitude on the chart today. This has only happened 2 other times in the time that I have been following the Schumann. And I wanted to thank Shane, who wrote in the comments and brought it to my attention because it's the middle of the night where I am. But I decided to make a video because this is really cool. So let's get into the details of what is going on here. Before I go to that, I want to announce to you that I have my first sponsor. It's really exciting. Our relationship has just been so beneficial and helpful to me over the last few years. She's really been like a sister that's challenged me to grow. So here's her shop, and she makes these amazing, gorgeous, hand-done from recycled materials, little pouches and bags. They're so cute and adorable, and they are all lovingly crafted. They're on sale right now. There's Inspired 5 is the code for her Etsy shop, Leth Crow. They may get there before Christmas because they're shipped from Europe. I ordered one recently and it said December 23rd. So you have to be okay with it probably coming before Christmas, but can't be guaranteed because, you know, these things are just crazy nowadays. And here's her full inventory right now. She's been adding bags regularly. Please go ahead and check it out. I'll put the link down below in the video details. So this is an intraday chart, and that means that it's up to date for my time. So there's just no data yet here on the black, but you see this incredible deep blue for November 26th on the chart. That's Saturday, and it's just incredible. Now, I'm going to show you 2 other charts where this has happened before. But the different thing about this time is, okay, let me go here. There's so much color on the chart up here in the lower ranges of the hertz, because this chart goes from 0 to 40 hertz, and 0's up here, 40's down at the bottom of the chart, and 0 to 40 hertz mirrors human brain waves. And I look at the Schumann resonance as a map of human consciousness. I like to interpret the human experience of what the energy may be like. So what I wanted to show you was this is what you look for. Check this out. See how it says 0 here? This is really, really rare. 0, 0, 0, and 0. 0 in every resonance. Okay, so that was right in here. See the little tiny movements. Because of the key on the right side of the chart and the left side of the chart, it's hard to see how long exactly it was at 0. We can assume that some of these straight lines down here might be 0 or close to 0. If the ranges of amplitude decrease and decline, we will be able to see more about how much of the chart was at 0. That's so cool. So you see what I'm saying here? I just want to show you this. Here's 0. You can see, like, here's the bar of data. And because the key here is between 0 and 2, that means 1 was probably right about here. So everything from here to here is 0 point something. Pretty cool, huh? So actually, if we take this chart back, actually we can do an estimate of this. And it looks like, this whole thing here is at 0 in green. And I could do the same for these other, until there's a, well, actually, it looks like it's heading back up now, but we'll see when I get up in the morning. But it looks like all of them have been at 0. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? So see here, this is, this is 0.3. This is 0 to 3. So this is actually going to be more like a little less than 1/3. That's probably a bit big, but okay. So if I go across, I just want to discover this here with you. Yeah, see, even here. Okay, see, even here, that's where it was at 0, estimated. Now, if we look up and we see that between these 2 lines, it was actually above 0, but while maybe green was at 0 or maybe red was at 0. See, that's why we have the colors on the chart up here. Isn't this so cool? I love to Maybe white was a little higher too. Yeah, white looks like it was above 0 too. So these are the colors I'm talking about. See up here? So this is the rod of light. So that doesn't count. I'm looking at what was going on up here at 0 amplitude. Check that out. Arr! That is so cool. And look at the colors. Okay, the reason I'm pointing this out is this isn't just red. This is like a dusty rose, a violet, a purple, a pink. So it's a variation on the color. This is unusual to get this activity here during the 0 amplitude time. So cool. Now I want to also show you this. The walls have broken. I mean, they're broken. It's really exciting. And some news came out today that totally related to this. So if you remember, on November 14th, there was an extremely narrow frequency wall and quality wall at the same time. And then I had told you the quality wall had broken, right? That happened on November 15th, but the frequency wall was still there, but in a wider range. But now look, if I look at the range now here, oh my goodness, it's really widened. It's between 20.48 and 19. So what this is about, up here is about half a hertz. So the frequency wall widened from 0.2 to half a hertz. That's about this size here on the graph, but look, now it's widened even further. So it's almost at 0.9 hertz wide. I'm talking about the hertz range vertically. So these movements up and down within the frequency range over time. So this red line shows where the frequency wall was. On the 14th, the frequencies are grouped very tightly around this line, like right at it pretty much, because it was at 20.0. Actually, it was slightly higher. It's 20.0. I believe it's 20.08. So it's about right there. So you can see now that in the 0.9 hertz vertical range that it's really broken away. Wow, big. Let me also show you this. The wall was in the 20s. And while there have been reaches up in the red, haven't been able to reestablish that at all. And it's the 25th, so it's been 9 days. Isn't that exciting? That is so wild. The image here was, in my view, it's a backwards flag, and it's shortened. This is an intuitive hit. The most amazing coincidences have been happening on social media for me today when I see images. Some of those I'll tell you in my next video. But essentially, I saw this on a post. It was so amazing. A woman's post of a flag. It was on the East Coast, and it was before one of the recent, it was like Hurricane Natalie or Nicole or something like that. And the flag had been blown, like half of it was just ripped off, but half of it remained and it was still just blowing in the wind. It was still there. It kind of evokes that, and our flag was still there from the Star Spangled Banner. So when we had the first big expression on the chart of the white resonance that has occurred in quite a while, and that was, it's November 16th on the chart, but it was November 15th in the USA, and this is where the frequency wall broke as well, because that had lasted into from the 14th to the 15th in USA time. So then what happened was, I said in my video that our dreams were expressed, like our dreams, because in the previous charts there had been a broken flag. And then after this white resonance poured forth on the charts in a narrow gates of heavens shape, the flag was whole. And then bam, solid blue. And the deepness of this blue is almost like a 0 amplitude. It's almost like the chart today, but for different reasons. It wasn't that the amplitude went to 0. I think it's that it was something about human consciousness. Like there was this just sense of relief, or this just sense of, yes, our dreams are retrievable. Like, I don't know. But I equate that with the idea of this 0 amplitude and this incredible deep blue on the chart. I'm going to interpret that for you right now. See, the 0 amplitude is like an idea of a reset. A 0 amplitude, what is that? If I had a pretty blue electric fan on my desk and it was plugged in but it was turned off. You could liken that to zero amplitude. I can visually see the fan. It's there. Okay. And it might be bright blue. It might be a dull color blue. It still has certain characteristics, like instead of a high quality, it might be bright blue instead of dull blue. But it's there. Okay, so the amplitude is 0. It's not emitting any air. But if I turn that up to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, suddenly the air is blowing at me. There's energy, there's power going through the fan, and it's operating. Okay, and then boom, I turn down to 0, and what? It's stopped. It's still there. Okay, it's still existing in the visual range of light. That would be comparable to the frequency range of one of the resonances, right? It's present in its range. It's just at 0 amplitude. We can't experience it because there's no power. For example, if amplitude is at 0, I might still feel or notice emotions, but I might just be at such a state of calm and relaxation. I might be at 5D. And the last time this happened, I made a video called 5D Story. So essentially, we can experience, I feel that this is not just an expanded state of consciousness, an expanded state of being. It could be like a reset where we're pausing and resting. Or it could literally be like we've expanded to 0 point and it's reflected on the chart. That's what I wonder about. These two little sets of lines here reminded me of the Jacob's ladder that showed on the chart recently. Now, I realize that some of this here might be signals. Okay, I just want to point that out because, we know that, for example, submarine signals operate at extremely low frequencies and stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's random signals being picked up. You can't... I want to just acknowledge that that's the case. However, this is also the range of human brain waves. And so whatever transmissions are being done, they're within the range of our brain waves. And so I count it as important. And I'm going to do an interpretation. And the interpretation, it's really the skill set with which I do the interpretation. It's the same skill set as... like if someone was an oracle, or if someone was a priestess, or if someone was a seer, okay, or someone was a clairvoyant. These are very specialized, and I want to say feminine skill sets, but there are men that have these skill sets as well. So they're human skill sets. But there were times in human culture where the priestess was an honored role. There was times in human culture where the priest was in an honored role and still is in our culture to some extent, but without the acknowledgement, at least in our American culture, of the woo-woo nature of that. You have to go to shaman for that now, right? Or a shamaness. But this is the skill set, that I'm utilizing here. And I just wanted to, for the first time in my many, many videos, just acknowledge that. Although I have put pictures of an oracle girl, I do put the pictures in to communicate that. But I just feel that this ancient skill, right? This ancient skill that is an integral part of human nature, it should be honored and valued. So I'm just acknowledging that this is the skill set I'm using. And I have all the analytics that I learned when I was in my career, all that stuff. But, I never valued these traditional wisdoms until the parts of our culture that we value so much, until my life was in a certain place where I couldn't get traction just with those anymore, and I had to look for something else to find the meaning and to change my life. And doing this, moving to the expanded skill sets that includes the divinity that I am, has been amazing and has been life-changing. How I interpret this is that Jacob's ladder here, it repeated again. I explained this in one of my videos, but there were 2 of them. And it's like it's in our subconscious, okay? Because this is the unconscious, and then where's 8? Okay, so this is the unconscious, this is the subconscious, and then we are in alpha state here. Jacob's ladder, essentially, it represents a connection with God that is our inherent and divine right as living souls in living human form. and as children of the Creator. So in the background, this is what's rolling around in our unconscious and subconscious. And then it's like we have group realization that the flag is under siege, right? It's backwards, it's in half, maybe it's torn. I'm saying that because it's to the left instead of to the right. That's normally how flags are displayed. So if it was to the right, maybe I'd interpret it differently. It's interesting because there's even in this expression here, there's even sort of this flag type of image that's in the background. It's like there's something about this that is a part of our divine nature of expression. And I think that it might be related to what I said in a tweet today, because it's so cool. Twitter has been really fun lately, I have to say. I had stopped engaging on Twitter for some time because it was just it had been so hard, okay? But it has been so fun recently. So I replied to a tweet. Elon Musk had asked a question, and what he said was, what do you think of the culture war? And this is what I said. And I think that there's something about this that's reflected here, okay? Because the flag essentially represents human culture. For each society that is under its own flag, it represents that aspect of human culture. And these things are valuable. They shouldn't be disregarded. We've spent hundreds and hundreds of years or thousands of years developing all these niches of human culture, and every single one is valuable. And so what I said was, the culture war is ultimately about turning people away from their own divine soul, from their natural state of humanity and organic human culture, so that, lost, confused, and alone, they can be manipulated by forces with anti-life agendas to become resources for those forces. And I'll tell you something, that's a very sad thing, is because of the backwards flag. We don't like to acknowledge harm. We try to focus on the good, sometimes only in our society. And I think that that's unhealthy. I think that it's the whole that is what is true. It's the whole of who we are that needs to be acknowledged, because when we deny these dark aspects within our societies, it's because we're denying them within ourselves first. And for us to truly expand consciousness, for society to truly up-level in the Great Awakening, it's really about accepting the hard stuff, accepting the hard truths. Give the judgment to God. Love it all. Put yourself at a safe distance if it's not safe. These are all personal assessments you have to make on your own. But what I'm saying is that when we're finally able to recognize that it's not just our projection, there is actual, because it's a spiritual thing. If I see it out in the world, it's a projection from within. Yes, sometimes. And sometimes there is something that's trying to harm you. And you need to protect yourself if you value yourself. And this is what's this is what all the astrology energies are showing. I'm going to talk about that in my next astrology video. But it's all about, Venus. In the past couple of months before this current new moon, she was in a weak position. And it was hard. Even though we might want to value ourselves, it was really hard to bring that forward. But the energy the last few days has been really freeing. We really have this opportunity to up level in energy. And now we see this amazing event on the chart. God bless you, my friends. Thanks for being here with me. I am so grateful for you. Please go visit my sponsor and check out her website. Thanks so much for listening. God bless you. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing this amazing event together.